Hello Sagittarius, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing your October 2022 monthly check-in reading for you. So if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is I like to pull one major arcana to see the energy and then clarify with a different deck. So what's going on for the sign of Sagittarius? What do we need to know for you? I'm getting in this month, there is a moment where you need to watch your tongue, okay? Tempers might be flaring up wherever you are, at work, at home, with your friends, at a bar, whatever. However, I think it's best that you hold your tongue in a situation for whatever it is. Because remember, at the end of the day, Sage, you are the prophesier. You're supposed to be someone who's like the medicine man, a wise prophet, a wise sage. Now, you can give people constructive criticism, and I'm not saying to let people walk all over you, but there is a difference between putting someone in their place and then making, a your mama joke at them. And that's kind of what I'm saying for you, is that someone comes after you and in a joking manner you want to say something back to them. However, I feel like having maturity is more important at this point, okay? I think that there is a time and a place, and maybe this is not the time and the place, and you're trying to make it, seem more jaunty. However, at this point, it seems more like it needs to be serious. If someone is being serious with you, be serious back with them. Don't go into like, I'm a Sagittarius because I'm a Leo. I understand how it is. When something happens, you kind of want to joke about it. You kind of want to make light of the situation. I feel like this is a really serious thing. Maybe you have to have a lot of emotional maturity right here. So what's going on for Sagittarius? We have the Hermit. Yeah. Remember, the Hermit is an older gentleman, right? He wanders around in the woods. This is kind of like Merlin the magician. He illuminates people. He shows people the secrets. This is the kind of energy that you need to embody right now, Sagittarius, is people might be coming to you and seeking like, that wise prophecy, all right? They don't want, Merlin the magician making jokes about them. They want Merlin magician revealing a secret that they desperately need. Now, someone could be revealing a secret to you. It could be revealing a very harsh truth, all right? For example, some people don't like harsh criticism, and I understand that. I understand people don't like criticism, especially when criticism is not warranted. However, I feel like there is some sort of truth behind this criticism. Take it with a grain of salt, move on with your life. Listen to what they have to say, don't fire back, just go with it, okay? So what's going on for Sagittarius? What do we need to know? So we have the Queen of Wands coming out. We have the Emperor in reverse, and we have the Page of Pentacles upright. So the Queen of Wands is in reverse, the Emperor is in reverse, and the Page of Pentacles. So the Queen of Wands in reverse is Aries energy. The Emperor is also Aries energy. The Queen of Wands in reverse is kind of a representation of a witch, but a witch who wants to get her way. She's ready to cast a spell. She's going to do it. It's kind of the dark side of the witch. When we look at Aries in reverse, it's definitely a representation of, say, Lilith in Aries. Lilith in Aries. Lilith in Aries is kind of representation of a warring temptress. It's someone who will do anything to get what they want at all cost. With this Emperor in reverse, I feel like you really need to have some sort of emotional maturity about you, because the Emperor in reverse is representation of a tyrant, all right? He doesn't care about your feelings. He's going to get what he wants, his way or the highway. The Page of Pentacles right here, but there is some sort of information, there is some sort of truth behind this. There is something that is tangible behind this. There is a basis. There is a reason. Now, these people could be fighting over a pentacle. However, I feel like this Page of Pentacles is very important to the situation, because remember, the pages carry the aces. So what's going on with this Queen of Pentacles? Why is this here? Maybe you need to listen to some sort of wise counsel before you go and you cast a spell on someone, especially if you're about to perform black magic. I don't condone doing things like that. However, what's important to understand is that even something as harmless as a love spell can be considered black magic, because you are removing the willpower of another person in place of your own willpower. A lot of people don't really think that they're that, important. They're like, oh, it's just a love spell. A love spell has a way of backfiring horribly. It can also lead to, a crime of passion. So for instance, like you put a love spell on someone, you get tired of them, and all of a sudden they become these very obsessive people who want to commit murder. Like, that's what you really need to think about. There's a situation here where someone could be just trying to get something at all cost, All right, so let's look at this Queen of Wands. We have the Nine of Cups and we have the Hierophant. Yeah, at all costs, the Nine of Cups is a wish. I kind of feel like the Page of Wands, or not the Page of Wands, but the Queen of Wands is putting in all of her effort in a very negative way to attain a wish within this Hierophant organization. Remember, the Hierophant organization can also represent a commitment or a union as well. It doesn't have to be commitment between two people who are in love, like a marriage, but it can represent that. But it can also represent you wanting to get that perfect position in a job. What do we need to know about this Emperor energy? We have the Ten of Wands and we have the Knight of Pentacles. You're putting in a lot of effort into this. Someone is putting a lot of effort right here. But here's the thing. What you have to understand about putting in effort into these pentacles is that sometimes it costs more than the payout, all right? Not all that glitters is gold, Sagittarius, so think twice about this before you actually do this. What is this Page of Pentacles? You have the Two of Wands and you have the Three of Pentacles. I would say go on a different route. If you think that you can find the easy street right here, Sagittarius, I don't think that you can, all right? The risk is much greater than the reward in this situation. What you need to do is you need to go back to the drawing board and try from square one with the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is hard work, dedication, and craftsmanship, all right? It's kind of like if you have the ability to build something versus if you had the ability to have a demon build something for you. The risk with contracting with that demon is much greater than the reward of having it built when you know that you could just do it yourself. That's what this situation is, Sagittarius. Let's look at this Hermit energy. We have the Ten of Cups. You have to understand that doing something on your own right here and not taking shortcuts is very important. It's very important to the life goal of a situation. The Ten of Cups represents the ultimate fulfillment and the ultimate union right here. You cannot, if you really want the true Ten of Cups, you cannot put people under spells. You cannot, have people's wills bend to your power right here. Black magic, things of that nature. Remember, the Hermit is Merlin the Magician. The Magician is a representation of all aspects of magic. Understanding the pros and the cons can teach you that yes, you could receive an outcome, but at the end of the day, it's not what you want, and there's too much. It's like being burned at the stake with the Ten of Wands. But you can attain this through hard work and dedication. You can attain the Ten of Cups for yourself, but it is a harder thing to do. Like, you have to put in more effort. It's not something that you can just wish upon a star, cast a bunch of spells, and hope for the best, all right? Sometimes putting in the hard work and the dedication to get what you want is better in the end, especially I've seen a lot of people cast spells to get the person they want in their life. And then that person ends up being just like the worst, most disgusting type of individual. All right? Be very aware of what you do. So let's take a look at this Page of Pentacles right here. We have the Seven of Pentacles, growing things and working dedicated on a craft. So it's slow though. That's the problem, is I feel like you want to speed up a situation right here, but you can't. If you try to speed up a situation, it ends up being the Ten of Wands. It ends up being the hard route regardless. And that's sometimes the deception behind, magic in itself, is it's like there is a lot of work. When you do something like that, you have to continuously do it. You have to continue to put your energy into that spell to keep it going. Whereas you could have just put in the hard work and done it the right way, and you probably would be better off in the end. All right? When we look at magic from a perspective, let's look at it from a natural perspective. Clothing, perfume, things of that nature can be considered a glamour magic, all right? A glamour magic is something that is an illusion that always has to be kept up. The concept of makeup is magic because you're using brushes, you're painting yourself to look different. High heels, dresses, things of that nature. When you have to put in all that work to attract someone, and you have to look like that 24/7, and you have to constantly watch what you eat, watch what you say, you're not making that person fall in love with you, you're making them fall in love with an illusion. And when you take your illusion off, guess what happens? It breaks the spell. So if you break your own spell after doing it for, X amount of months, wouldn't it have been better to just work on doing something for yourself and having someone else fall in love with you for who you are? Now, I'm not saying to not do those things. I'm just saying if we put it down into a basic form, all right? Because not all people believe in magic, like in, hocus pocus kind of stuff, but there are some people who do. If we break it down to a realistic level, a reality level, that could be a form of glamour magic in itself. So right here, you're still putting in the effort, and that's what people don't understand about black magic is you continuously have to use your own energy to manipulate it. All right. You have the King of Cups coming out, you have the Ace of Cups, and you have the Two of Swords. You could find someone right here. You could be better off and a more emotionally happy with someone offering you their cup instead. All right. That's kind of what I'm seeing for you is waiting for the person to offer their cup to you and not you having to invoke your own power to get someone to offer their cup to you. You have to go the hard way, the more patient route. All right. The Two of Swords is what you're not seeing right here and what you're completely closed off to. That's kind of what I'm feeling right here, Sagittarius, is that you're closed off to this King of Cups offering the Ace of Cups to you. Maybe you don't see it yet. Maybe it hasn't appeared to you. I feel like it will appear. This is kind of morphing into a little bit of a love reading, so I'm going to try to move the energy away from that and give you more scenarios. When we look at the King of Cups with the Ace of Cups, this is someone who has the ultimate emotional fulfillment for you, so a scorpionic energy. But you're blocked off to this. Why are you blocked off to it? Because the Hanged Man. You can't see it from a higher perspective. You're looking at a situation right here, and perhaps you want this person to offer their cup to you, but maybe they already have. That's something that's also funny, is it's like, you know, people show their love in different ways. People show emotions in different ways, and maybe that's not what you're saying right here. Maybe you're thinking that you have to have this grand display of love and affection. Some people's love language is not that. Maybe they've already shown you a display of love. Maybe they've already shown you this cup of ace right here, but you haven't seen it. See it from a higher perspective. Maybe there's someone who always talks to people and they're always around people, but when they're with you, they're just polarized on you. So be aware before you go into any type of, you know, off the rails with the Queen of Wands in reverse. What do we have with the Page of Pentacles? Yeah, I feel like it's small little gifts, small little things, small little bits of attention right here. And it's small gestures. Maybe you're someone who wants like this grand display of something, but I feel like that's the way this person thinks and operates or whatever the situation is within your life. Someone uses small tokens. They might, say for instance, you knit, all right, or you do yarn work or whatever. They might show up with, you know, a piece of or a wrap of yarn for you and give it to you. Like they do things like that. That's what this situation is saying. Wait for something like that to appear. Yeah, the Chariot, Cancerian energy. Wait for, it's kind of like the Knight in Shining Armor. Wait for this situation to appear for you for itself. Don't go out and try to invoke any type of spells. Don't go out and invoke anything right here. This is not the time to do that. Your Ten of Cups is right there. You just can't see it yet. See it from a higher perspective. The Chariot is here to lead you home, to give you a victory, all right? You have the Emperor. The Emperor is upright now. So that's what you need to do. You need to wait on the situation to play out for itself. You need to continue to work on doing what you're doing. Continue to build your own arch. Continue to focus on your craft. Continue to, you know, if you throw all of your energy into casting a spell, you don't have any energy to work on what you have over here. Maybe you have a lot of projects lined up. Maybe you know, going to school, you're working, you're doing all these things. When you do black magic, you have to devote all your time and attention to that spell, all right? However, it's in the long run not really worth it with this Ten of Wands because the payout is not worth it. However, if you focus on X, Y, and Z and put your energy into those things, I see the energy manipulating and morphing into this King of Cups that you might not be able to see yet, but I do see it being appear or showing to you, showing up to you, a better opportunity down the line, a better opportunity that's more fulfilling, that's more suitable for you, whether it's in love, whether it's career, whether it's business, finances, whatever, all right? So let's look at your Witch's Familiar Oracle, Sagittarius. What do we need to know right here? We have Wren, awareness, and Black Cat, independence. I kind of feel like independence is very important right here. You could also be dealing with someone who's hyper-independent as well. Hyper-independent people are able to function on their own. All right, remember that. That's something that maybe you're not seeing right here. Hyper independent don't need you, but they like you. They want you. All right, but they don't need you. And maybe that's the energy that you have. You don't need anyone, but you would like to have someone around. If you're dealing with another person who's hyper independent, who has their own life together, who has their own life sorted out, who's going to work, doing the right thing, it's kind of hard to, deal with those people because they also have to work on their lives. They can't just drop everything to focus on you, and nor should you drop everything to focus on them. That's what this situation is. There's that push and pull, all right? And I feel like it starts out with these small little things with the Page of Pentacles being passed back and forth, all right? That's what you need to be aware of right now. Pay attention to are you someone who is an independent person? Focus on your independence right here with the Seven of Pentacles, with the Eight of Pentacles. I do see good things happening for you with the King of Cups, with the Ace of Cups, with the Chariot, the Hanged Man, but see it from a higher perspective, all right? You have the Empress coming out. Yeah, you have the Emperor and the Empress, a perfect match, a perfect union. But it comes from two independent people. The Emperor and the Empress are independent people. They are separate from one another, okay? Kind of like the Queen of Wands with the King of Wands. They are independent people. Now, she has her own kingdom, he has his own kingdom, and they function together. They do rule one thing. However, they could be apart. They don't need to be subservient to one another. However, the Empress is the embodiment of femininity, and the Emperor is the embodiment of masculinity. There's that push and pull mentality right there. They are focused on different parts of the kingdom. She's focused on beauty. He's focused on war. She's focused on, maintaining. He's focused on driving things forward. So let's look at the spellcasting oracle. I feel like this is a very good reading for you, but it's definitely not from the situation of you coming from the Little Mermaid perspective. When we look at Ursula from the Little Mermaid, she had to put or Ariel under the spell, and she had to put Prince Eric under a spell, right? She had to do all this black magic in order to maintain things, but in the end, yes, she did get the Triton. Yeah, she got what she wanted, but she was also killed off in the end. That's the situation. You still get what you want with black magic, but the risk and what happens is not worth the 3 seconds that she had the Triton, right? So blessings, yeah, focus on your blessings right here. Boundaries. If you're independent people, if you're independent two separate entities, you're going to be dealing with, boundaries. Because there's going to be that element of I need to get to sleep, and that person needs to sleep too. There's going to be elements of I have to go to work. That person has to go to work too. You have to focus on your work first before you throw your energy into whatever this is. And if you want to take a shortcut, don't take shortcuts. Continue to keep focused on other things. Have a plan. Focus on X, Y, and Z. When you get little bits of attention from whatever this is, say, hey, you're working on this relationship, but you're also working on other things. Don't just drop everything to focus on the relationship, because I don't think that person's going to do it either. So I'm not saying that this is a love reading. This could be a connection with, a business partner, but I do see it being very harmonious in the end, but you can't force the situation to work out faster, okay? You can't force this person to work on your timeline. You can't force this person to act a certain way, all right? You can't force the company to do what you want to do. If you want to be, harmonious within a company, just play by the rules. Whatever the company wants to do. A lot of people want to interject. They leave companies because, they say that the company isn't being run right. Whatever the company is doing, if it runs into the ground, it's whatever. Just get what you can out of the situation. Smile, wave, do your job. Allow the situation to play out. If you want to look for a new job, look for a new job. But at the end of the day, you can't change a giant corporation CEO's mind. So we have Brambrack, sweetness and synergy, winterness, the sacredness of pausing. Yeah, there is a sacredness within the pause, the lull moments. Whenever you feel, lonely, there is a sacredness in that, because you can throw yourself into other things, all right? When you feel lonely, don't just sit there depressed. Sit there, if you're going to feel depressed, sit there with a object in your hand, something that you can do, maybe a book. Maybe you want to take up knitting. Maybe you want to learn sewing. Sit there with an arts and crafts project. Whenever you get to the point where you feel like there's that pause and you feel kind of weird about it, paint, draw. Just pick up something, have a pen, have a piece of paper, and do something. Make a list, all right? stay kind of busy in this situation with the Eight of Pentacles. Don't drop everything. Don't, try to get back at anyone right now. It's not the right time, because here's the thing. You have Brambrack, sweetness and synergy. Brambrack does represent, people baking cakes and pies, and they would put little tokens and trinkets inside of it. These little tokens and trinkets would dictate how life was going to be for the rest of the year. Whenever they would get a piece of cake, it might have a ring, it might have a silver dollar, it might have, a little knick-knack inside of it, and each one of those things meant something different. Like a ring meant you could potentially get married, the coin was money, things of that nature. So sweetness and synergy with this Brambrack energy, I feel like after this sacredness of pausing, there is a very sweet outcome for you, okay? But it can also represent there is sweetness within small exchanges within this Page of Pentacles, okay? Like they give you a pentacle, you give a pentacle, and it's very sweet, right? And then they give you a pentacle and you give them a pentacle. It's very, very sweet, slow, methodical energy coming up, right? But there is that pause. There is that lull of, well, you're two independent people who are working on two different things, but you can still try to make it work. And that's the whole point of my channel, is it's like, I don't do love readings. I don't do like twin flame connections, blah, 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 right? I talk about working on yourself, and in the right moment, you will meet someone who is on your level. You focus on yourself, you do the hard work, you put in the time, you put in the effort and the energy into yourself, into whatever you're doing. And then at the right moment, you're going to meet people who are like you, also on this goal of building something, trying to create an empire for themselves, right? And I feel like you're on that path now. I feel like you've put in the time, you put in the hard work, you've done what you needed to do, you're in school, you're got your life together, and now maybe you're meeting the person who's on that same path, all right? If you do, just understand that your independence is still important right here in whatever you're doing. You're still building something, you're still crafting something, and their independence is still important to them, so it's still a push and pull, all right? So let's look at your Awakened Oracles. You have Be Love, and you have Brilliance. I'm going to pull you one more card because a lot of people kept pulling Be Love and Brilliance. Let me get you one more. Reflect. Everyone, so these are like 3 cards that I pulled in every reading. Let me get you one more. Integration. I pulled that in Aries reading too. One more. Sacred Connection. You have a sacred connection right here, okay? Be love with this situation, but take it slowly. Reflect. See the brilliance in how a diamond is turned from coal through slow grinding pressure. It's not turned into diamond overnight. In fact, lab-created diamonds are cheaper than natural diamonds, right? A lab-created diamond is the concept of the black magic. A freshwater pearl or a lab-grown pearl is not the same as a saltwater pearl from an oyster in the ocean, okay? That's what this is. It's something that's grindy. It takes time. It's something that you have to do kind of like a push and pull, reflect on it, be loving when the situation comes around, integrate yourself into this energy, but do not be consumed by it, all right? Let me get you a rune card. You have Dagga's Day, hope, relief, clarity, understanding, and progress. The spiritual meaning is destiny, higher consciousness, and mutability. If you're dealing with someone at a higher conscience level, like a higher consciousness, people who understand, how the world works, it's going to be difficult to be in a relationship with those people. And I'm not saying difficult in the fact that, they're going to be cheaters and all that. I'm just saying that in order to maintain an empire, work has to go into that empire. All right? If you're building a company right now, your time and attention and devotion needs to be to your company. It's okay. If they're building a company, their time, attention, and devotion needs to be to that. But it's okay to have, a dinner date. Take it slowly. Talk, chit-chat, enjoy each other's time, this company. Talk about your dreams, your goals, but it doesn't have to be, immediately in the bedroom casting black magic, trying to put all your time and attention to looking like this most beautiful shape-shifting representation of yourself, okay? Because that's what a lot of people will do. Instead of putting time and attention to X, Y, and Z, that's all they do is try to present a figment of imagination. So we lose strength, success in all ventures, good health, and speedy recovery. Success in all ventures and have strength. Strength is very critical to this foundation. You're building a foundation. That's what the strength card means. All right. A solid foundation will stand the test of time. There can't be cracks within a foundation. You can't just say, it'll do. No, when the first, earthquake happens or when the first flood happens or whatever happens, it'll crack the foundation to pieces and the house will fall in. All right. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. The wise man built his house upon the rock. I've talked about that in your readings before. That's what this is right here. So if you do get sick, I do see a good health, speedy recovery happening. Success in all ventures, success in this loving endeavor, success in a business endeavor, success in whatever you're creating for yourself. Just make sure that it's not built off of illusions, because once the illusion breaks, does that person love you for you, or are they in love with the illusion? Okay? And that's what you have to understand is like, I understand makeup, I understand hair, I understand, dressing up and dressing down and whatever, but make sure the person is caring about the authentic you and displaying an authentic version of you to whatever the situation is. All right. Authenticity is extremely important. Yes, you could dress up as the sexy siren, the Lilith in Aries and whatever, and try to gain control. But once again, that is not who you are. That is a figment of imagination. That is the apparition. And remember, it has a place. That spell, those things have a place within life. I'm not saying not to do them, okay? I'm just saying that those things can get you very far within business. Looks, can get you where you want them to get you. However, in this thing, emperor and empress status, two people trying to build an empire together, that's not how this is built. It's not going to be built off of the illusion, all right? So anyway, Sagittarius, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll talk to you later.